YB stays on your neck.
Yo, my dons, make sure you hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and obviously hit the bell for notifications. Well. I swear to gosh, your boy YB is El Prophesical. Yeah? The YB is the oracle of prophecies in boxing. Not only is he a PhD in MIT, PhD in combative psychology, he's also an MIT in philosophical, spiritual, oracle forecasting. He knows what's going on. Let's get it straight. I said to you, I made a video in fact yesterday saying Andy Ruiz is suffering from deep, dark anxiety surrounding coming to the UK. He knows what's waiting for him here. I know a few man still. Yeah? The UK is the heart of the beast, man. Yeah? We're ready for Andy Ruiz. We've got a certain man licking their chops to get their hand on Ruiz. He already knows he can't come to the UK. The fans have done broke him already. Never mind. It's funny. In my video, I talked about how, oh yeah, if Ruiz comes to the UK fans are going to break him and AJ will break whatever's left. Whatever the UK fans don't break, AJ will finish that other half off. Listen, never mind when he comes to the UK. The UK fans have already broke him. Do you understand that? He don't even want to get here to experience that. We've already shut him down. Simple. He don't want to even fathom it. And it's getting embarrassing now because the fact he jumped over this and the fact that what he took from this was, oh yeah, this proves, the fact Dillian Whyte's failed a test proves that I shouldn't go there. What do you mean it's a setup? What's a setup? Explain that. Dillian Whyte's been exposed for popping. A setup would have been 6 months later then hearing about it, or even better, not hearing about it at all. How can publicly available information merely days after a fight be a setup? I don't get that at all. And besides, let's get it straight. You're under VADA testing. AJ VADA testing. Yeah? Dillian Whyte VADA testing. Dillian Whyte is not... VADA are the head body. They're the top dogs. The voluntary anti-doping agency. They're the top dogs. You don't get any harder than VADA. Did Dillian Whyte fail a VADA test? Absolutely not. So in that respect, it's irrelevant really. This is a UK problem. As in, this is a UK issue, which has nothing to do with VADA. People forget that. Wilder forgets that as well. But Andy Ruiz, bottom line is, this dude is in fear for his life. Now, I've heard quite a few people being quite critical of Ruiz, but we have to realise you have to be merciful. You have to be humble because you don't know what this man's dealing with. It's all fun and games, the YB coming on here, we have a good laugh, but the bottom line is, this man is seriously suffering. I've heard from good sources inside Ruiz's camp, he's not the same man. He's not. He's broken. He can't, and I'm hearing the reason it's taken so long for this fight to get announced is because Ruiz is seriously having thoughts of throwing his belts in the bin rather than come to the UK. We all know now. Eddie Hearn spelled it out for everyone. AJ has the last say on the venue. Now I'm hearing also that AJ the merciful, being as merciful and as humble as he is, I'm hearing that AJ's considering the fact that Ruiz might put the belts in the bin. AJ wants to get his hands on Ruiz, so apparently AJ's thinking about actually conceding the location, going to the US just so he gets to fight Ruiz. Otherwise, Ruiz is going to put the belts in the bin and AJ will never get that get back. That's how hungry AJ is. AJ's prepared to essentially forgo fighting in the UK just so he can get his hands on Ruiz. Because look at the way the man's talking. Don't take it from me. People think I'm laughing and joking. Oh yeah, YB's having a laugh here. YB's joking about Ruiz being anxious and Ruiz being scared and Ruiz being shook to his core. But in reality, don't listen to the YB. Look at his actions. The first thing, and when you have deep stress, when you have deep anxiety, everything it almost becomes paranoia. You start relating everything in life. So as an example, Dillian Whyte fails a drug test and Andy Ruiz is drawing parallels to his situation. Does that make sense? Everything in life, this is the classic start of paranoia. Starting to creep into Ruiz, you think everyone's out to get him. No, it's just the UK fans. That's it. There's only one entity out to break you. In fact, there's only one entity that has already broken you. That's the UK fans. That's it, Andy. I know it's a big thing to try and overcome, but you're broken. That's what you need to understand. You're broken. You've got completely irrelevant things going on, and you're drawing parallels, trying to give you an excuse not to go back there. I suggest, and I really hope, in a way, we know how humble AJ is. We know how merciful AJ is. Anthony, the merciful Joshua. I just hope he sticks by his guns and keeps it in the UK. Do not. I know you want to get your hands on him. So do we. We're licking our chops to get our hands on him as well. But the bottom line is, you're the A side. He signed a contract. Don't let him throw his toys out the pram. In fact, no, let him throw his toys out the pram. Don't go picking him up. Don't go say, oh, well, I want to get my hands on him. Don't do that. It's in the UK, that's that. If you don't like it, let him give the belts up. I know you'll be irritated because you won't get the get back, but that's the simple thing. He signed the contract. If you don't like it, the belts need to go in the bin, and he needs to hand them over back to their rightful owner, because ultimately, Ruiz knows who the rightful owner is. And you got to ask yourself now, if Ruiz was that confident, if AJ was really a big stiff robot, why don't you just come and, because the thing is, the whole business of, oh yeah, I'm not going to come to the UK because I'm going to get robbed. You can only get robbed if you don't stop him. Does that make sense? If you go in there and knock AJ out, how can you get robbed? How can it be a setup? And that's what I'm trying to tell you lot. Ruiz understands more than any of us do. What happened that night was a complete fluke. Because think about it. Logically speaking, if Ruiz was logical, if Ruiz wasn't suffering from stage 4 anxiety, UK fan-ridden anxiety, what is the... let's take from this perspective. From this particular point of view, from the July 26th, what would be the rational point of view for Ruiz? In my opinion, it would be this. It would be, you know what? I knocked... every time I touched AJ, he fell over. Why wouldn't I go to the UK and embarrass AJ in front of his own fans? That's what he should be thinking, shouldn't he? Come on, he said it himself. Everyone's been saying it. Andy Ruiz had a devastating win over AJ. Even Tony Bellend said, "Oh yeah, I can't." Tony Bellend, Tony the Turncoat, he said he's talking about how he can't even see a way that AJ can win anymore. So you ask yourself now, you got all these people who can't even see how AJ wins. You've got Ruiz himself. He was in the ring. AJ hit him with his best shot, and Ruiz took it, and then AJ hit him with his second best shot. When Ruiz got put down, Ruiz got back up, and AJ hit him with a clean right hand, and Ruiz stood there. So you got to ask yourself the question again. Wait a minute. So Ruiz gets hit by AJ's best combination, uppercut, left hook, I think it was. Ruiz gets up, then gets hit with a cracking right hand, and remains standing. Then every shot he throws, AJ's on stilts. AJ becomes Rumpelstiltskin. So after all that, why now will he not come to the UK? I'll tell you why. He knows exactly what it is. It was a complete fluke. Because if the man who did it, if the perpetrator, if the man who dished out that whooping don't even want to come here and do that, you got a question, does he want to do it at all? And I'm not even sure he does. I think he's using the UK thing as a good excuse because the narrative fits. You got all the public, or a lot of the public narrative saying, "Oh yeah, man, cock-a-doodle-doo. Ruiz is the A side. Ruiz ain't gotta go nowhere." So that's the only thing he could cling on to. Think about it. What other excuses could Andy Ruiz have to get out of this rematch? In my opinion, not coming to the UK is a weak ass thing anyway. Bearing in mind, AJ came to the US. The rightful thing would be, you know what, Ruiz? You know what, AJ? You blessed me. You changed my life. You got my mum out of projects. Let me go and repay you the favour. Or, you know what, forget that. Just as a warrior. These people are meant to be warriors. Why doesn't he? If it was me, as an example, you know the YB's a straight up warrior, yeah? If it was me, why... I'd want to take your soul in front of your people, in your homeland. Does that make sense? I'd want to ride in there, hands raised, march forward, and take your ish in... Does that make sense? In front of your wife and kids. That's what I'd want to do. Ruiz don't want to do that. Ruiz is shook. And I'm not being funny, even if AJ does agree to do it in the US, I'm not even sure it will happen. I'm really not. I feel, or from what I'm hearing rather, from good inside sources, Ruiz is just clutching at straws, looking at any particular avenue to get out of the rematch whilst saving face. That's what I'm looking at now. Time will tell anyway, because how many times has he got to tell you before you start listening to the YB? He keeps telling you, I am not going to the UK. That's what he said, I am not going. I'm definitely not going to the UK. Look at it here. Here we go, look, ready. I'm not going to the UK for the rematch. It's a setup. And you got to makes me laugh because Eddie Hearn keeps saying, "Oh yeah, everything's fine and everything's going fine," and it's just because the reason we've got delays is because there's new venues. There's no venues. How can everything be fine? But yet Ruiz, apparently everything's fine. But why is Ruiz saying every 2 minutes, "I'm not going to the UK"? Why is it the fight is still not signed and you posted Twitters about, "Oh yeah, new news coming soon" 4 weeks ago? It was last month you started posting about, "Oh yeah, it's going to be signed soon." We're weeks later now. What's gone on in that time? I'll tell you what's gone on. Ruiz is not signing it. Start listening to what's going on. Eddie Hearns is a salesman at the end of the day. Ruiz is not signing a contract. That's why Barry Hearn's sitting there stressed, talking about, "Oh, it's getting more complicated every day." And I feel that Hearn and AJ need to really come out and expose Ruiz for being a brat. Because that's how he's acting now. He's acting like he's got some sort of power. "I'm not going to New York." He sounds like when you got spoiled children. That's what he sounds like. "Oh, I'm not doing this." Ruiz, you'll do as you're told. And when you get here, we're going to break you. In fact, I probably should cancel this video actually, because I don't want to put. I know we already know Ruiz is mentally half cooked already, so we don't want to break him before he gets here. But anyway, Ruiz, just like Wilder. In fact, let me sum this up. In conclusion, in evaluation, Wilder, Dillian Whyte is still breathing down your neck. This little discrepancy has not acquitted you from getting the arse whooping that you've been talking your way into. That's the first thing. Second thing, Ruiz, once again, this little discrepancy with Dillian Whyte has not acquitted you out of the arse whooping that you've got coming in the UK from AJ. That's that. Both of you two American pussies have got it coming to you. That's that. Simple as that. No doubt. There's no amount of. Imagine that Dillian Whyte has a discrepancy, and then Ruiz wants to use that as an excuse not to fight AJ. What's going on here? Where's all this? Where's all the Bannerman gone? Where's all the bronze bomber? Where's the big Mexican? Honestly, I thought the big Mexican wanted to come here and show us what time it was, because AJ was the UK Don. He came to US and was happy to see what's popping. Why is it none of these people want to come to the UK and see what's popping? Because they're shook.